This belt is 62 years old. My grandfather wore it every day from 1962 until the year he died. Cattle work, fencing, church on Sunday. The leather is darker now, smooth as river stone, and the buckle hole he used most is stretched just enough to tell you a man lived in this thing. I am holding it right now. I am also holding a belt I bought 3 years ago from a department store for $55. The surface is cracking, peeling off in flakes like sunburned skin. The same word is stamped on the back of both, leather. The $8 belt outlived the $55 belt by half a century. And by the time I am done here, you will know exactly why. And you will know the only 3 leathers worth spending $1 on. That $55 belt had 2 words printed inside it: genuine leather. Sounds like a promise. It is not. It is a warning. The leather industry runs on a grading system most people never hear about. Full grain sits at the top. That is the complete outer surface of the hide, the tightest fibers, the strongest structure. Below that is top grain, where they sand the surface down and coat it. Below that is what they call genuine leather, which is the leftover inner layers after the good stuff has been split off. Loose fibers, coated in plastic to look like the real thing. Below even that is bonded leather, which is ground up leather dust glued together with polyurethane. The particle board of the leather world. Here's what should bother you. The FTC Leather Labeling Guidelines, 16 CFR Part 24, define whether something is leather. They do not define the quality. There is no legal standard separating full grain from genuine. The word genuine is doing exactly one job. It keeps you from asking what grade you're actually holding. A $600 handbag can legally contain chrome tan split leather that costs $2.75 per square foot and still carry that label. Ashley Furniture sold couches under the name Dura Blend. They were bonded leather. Customers paid $1,700 for sofas that peeled apart in 2 years. There was a class action lawsuit. A genuine leather belt at $20 lasts maybe 3 years. Over 20 years, that is 7 belts at $140. A full-grain vegetable tan belt costs $80 and lasts those same 20 years without flinching. I'll let you do the math on which one is actually expensive. Stay with me here, because the 3 leathers I'm about to show you have been sitting in plain sight for 150 years. The first is full-grain vegetable tanned leather. The process uses natural tannins pulled from tree bark, quebracho, chestnut, and mimosa. Those tannins are large polyphenolic molecules that form hydrogen bonds with the collagen fibers in the hide. They do not just cross-link at a few chemical sites the way chromium does. They coat every individual fibril, displacing the water and locking the structure in place. That is why vegetable tanned leather gets stronger with age instead of falling apart. It develops a patina, darkens, and becomes more supple. Herman Oak. Leather Company in St. Louis has been doing this since 1881. They select from the top 1% of U.S. steer hides and tan them for 6 weeks in quebracho bark pits. Wickett and Craig in Pennsylvania, founded 1867, run 72 vats in a 6-week cycle. Those 2 are the only specialty vegetable tanneries left in America. And this is where the story turns. In 1884, a man named Augustus Schultz patented a process using chromium salts that could tan a hide in hours instead of weeks. Both world wars demanded fast leather for millions of boots and belts, and chrome tanning scaled to meet that demand. By 1950, the infrastructure was locked in. Speed had won. In 1840, there were 8,000 tanneries in the United States. Today, there are fewer than a dozen. 80 to 90% of all leather on Earth is now chrome tanned. The old method did not disappear because it failed. It disappeared because it was slow, and slow does not fill a department store shelf. Last week I showed you what lye does to grease and hair inside a drain pipe. It saponifies the grease and dissolves the keratin. That exact same chemistry is the first thing a tanner does to a raw hide. Lye strips the hair and swells the collagen before the tanning agents go in. Same science, different application. The second leather is bridle leather. Vegetable tanned steer hide, pounded and hand waxed with heavy oils until the fibers are saturated. It was the standard for equestrian gear in England for centuries. J. and E. Sedgwick has made it for over 100 years. The third is shell cordovan, and this part never made sense to me until I understood what it actually is. It is not a surface. It is a subcutaneous membrane from a horse's rump, about 1 square foot per side. The fiber structure is so tight the leather rolls instead of creasing. At Horween Leather Company in Chicago, founded in 1905, production takes 6 to 9 months. The process includes 60 days in vegetable pits, stuffing with tallow and wax, 90 days of resting for oil permeation, and hand glazing. Those 3 leathers, full-grain vegetable tanned, bridle, and shell cordovan, are the only ones a cowboy would have staked his living on. And here's the part that nobody stamping genuine leather on a $600 handbag wants you to understand. A man I met at a saddle shop in Kingsville showed me how to tell what I was holding. He pressed his thumb into a strip of full-grain leather. The grain displaced, went lighter, and came right back when he released. He did the same on a piece of genuine leather. The surface coating wrinkled and stayed wrinkled. He held the cut edge up to the light. Full grain showed tight, uniform fiber all the way through. The genuine piece was fuzzy, layered, almost spongy. He brought a piece to his nose. The vegetable tanned leather smelled like earth and bark. The chrome tanned piece smelled like chemicals. 3 tests, 10 seconds each, and I never looked at a leather counter the same way again. The care is just as simple. That same man had a bottle of pure neat's foot oil on his bench. Neat's foot comes from the shin bones of cattle. The word neat is Old English for cow. He wiped it on with a cotton rag, worked it in with his hands, and let it sit. A bottle costs $7 at Tractor Supply and lasts years. Coach sells a leather conditioner for $20 that is mostly silicone. Louis Vuitton charges $33. I checked the ingredients on the Coach product. Polydimethylsiloxane. That is silicone oil. The actual conditioning agents buried in the formula are lard oil and lanolin, the same animal fats ranchers have been using for 200 years. I went home and pulled every piece of leather I own out of the closet. He was right about every single one. R.T. Fraser saddles built in the 1890s are still selling today for $9,500 in what dealers describe as excellent condition. That is vegetable tanned leather, 130 years old, still working. My grandfather's belt cost $8 in 1962. It is the finest piece of leather I own. The $55 belt is in the trash. I keep wondering how many boots, belts, wallets, and bags I threw away that were never real leather to begin with. Just painted plastic over loose fiber, sold with a word that sounded like a guarantee but was really a loophole. I cannot get that number back, neither can you, but you can stop adding to it. Tell me the oldest piece of leather you still own. What is it? Who made it? And how many years has it been working? Drop it in the comments. The next one is about cast iron, and it is a story almost nobody knows. There is a reason your grandmother's skillet cooks better than anything at Target, and it has nothing to do with seasoning.